Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Felgrand deck profile. So you guys have been requesting this one left and right. I put out a community tab post of what decks you guys would like to see me make or update, and the top most voted one was a Felgrand deck, which was kind of interesting because it came from our local legend, Pain96, who's usually all about volcanics. So shoutouts to him, but let's get straight on into this, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell on the screen, become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this one. So I'm really excited for this one because you guys asked for it and I accepted the challenge, and I think I've made something interesting and a lot of fun. So here we go. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand. Yes, that does look like a lot, but we do have a lot of ways to get him out on the field. I can usually end with 2 copies of Felgrand and a really surprising boss monster that I will get into in a few minutes. So it's a really interesting card that if you guys are not familiar with what Felgrand does, if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can target one monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard and banish it, and if you do, this card's attack gains attack equal to that monster's rank or level times 100. And if this card destroys an opponent's monster at battle, you can target a level 7 or 8 dragon-type monster in your grave and special summon that target to your field. So it really helps you out with OTKing, and it's not a once per turn kind of thing. So if you have multiple Divine Dragon Lord Felgrands on the field, you can actually trigger multiple Divine Dragon Lord Felgrands and be able to destroy stuff and swarm the board with big dragons. So it's really easy to resolve. 3 copies of Archbrave Dragon. Archbrave Dragon is another one of those really good cards in this deck that has the ability that if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can banish all face-up spells and traps your opponent controls, and if you do, this card gains a 200 attack for each one banished. But the really cool effect about this card is that once per turn, during your standby phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there last turn, you can target a level 7 or 8 dragon monster in your grave except another copy of itself and special summon it. So it's like an instant revival to be able to put extra dragons on the field to be able to OTK your opponent. I played 2 copies of Nebula Dragon. Nebula Dragon's kind of like the revival card of the deck. If you can reveal this card and one of their level 8 dragon monster in your hand and special summon them both in defense position, but negate their effects. So it's a really good card to be able to make rank 8s and be able to overlay with it. So it's kind of like our overlay card. I just played it as a 2 of because I kind of, if you have more than 1 in the hand, it kind of bricks. So I just play it as a 1 or 2 of. Also, you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters for their turn except light or dark dragons, and you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target a level 4 or light or dark dragon monster in your grave and add it back to your hand, which is really good because we do actually play the black dragon and the white dragon, so it's really easy to put them back in the hand. We play a single copy of Chaos Emperor Dragon, which I hope doesn't give too much away of what we're playing in this deck. Chaos Emperor Dragon is a good dragon that's a level 8 that can just surprise our opponent late game to be able to banish a light and a dark monster in the graveyard, to put this on the field, and then pay 1,000 and then send all the cards on the field to the graveyard. But you can't activate any other effect the turn you activate this card, according to the errata, I believe. But they take 300 points of damage for everything that's sent to the graveyard. So this card's really good as a 1 of in this deck, and it's just so overpowered still. 1 copy of Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon because it revives any of our dragons back from the graveyard. 1 copy of Amorphage Goliath because you can put this on the field with our Archbrave Dragon, and then it makes it so neither player can special summon monsters except for Amorphage. So it's kind of like a walking skill drain, and once you have your board established, it's not that big of a deal to just put this on the field and just go, hey, I got you. 1 copy of Tempest because Tempest is a good dragon monster for Link materials and XYZ materials or whatever you need to use it for. We don't play any level rank 7, so it's just Link materials pretty much. 1 copy of White Dragon and 1 copy of Black Dragon for Link materials, again, because you can banish your light or dark dragons in your graveyard or light or dark monsters in your graveyard to be able to put these on the field to be able to kind of handle your opponent's stuff. 2 copies of Dragon Knight of Creation. I've been testing this at 2. I really feel like this is a good 2 of because the Dragon Knight of Creation increases its level by 4 during your opponent's turn only, and then when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can send a level 7 or 8 Dragon-type monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is usually going to be your Archbrave Dragon, or if you have Return of the Dragon Lords in your hand, it's going to be your Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, or Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand. It also has the ability that I usually use with this card is that you can send 1 card from your hand to the grave and then target a level 7 or 8 dragon monster in your grave, and then send this card to the grave, and if you do, special summon that monster. So basically, send a card from your hand, send this to the grave while it's on your field, and then special summon a Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand, or a copy of a Morphage Goliath, or something like that, to be able to get back onto your side of the field, to be able to start handling your opponent's cards. Then I have a surprise kind of tech cards in this deck. They're not all the same, but definitely comment down below and tell me what you think they are. I was kind of sitting at this deck and I was like, wow, that's a lot of level 8s. How am I going to get them in the grave? So it's something really interesting that I'm playing in this deck, and I want you guys to comment down below. We're going to play Guess That Card. Tell me what you think these cards are, and I will reveal them in about 3 seconds. So it's a really interesting little couple of cards that I'm playing in this deck that's going to really help us get some interesting boss monster on the field that helps us get cards in the graveyard. So comment down below, tell me what you think it is. I don't want to say any more, I'm going to give it away. And tell me what you think it is, and we'll reveal it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So it is actually, and you guys might look at me crazy, but here we go. It's going to be a Shaddoll engine. So why am I playing a Shaddoll engine in a Felgrand deck? Because they're all light and level 8s, which works really well with constructs. This deck is like yelling for Shaddolls, because you can put in a small Shaddoll engine like a Falco, a Beast, and a Hedgehog, or a Falco, a Beast, and a Dragon, which is what we put in here, and you can activate Shaddoll Fusion on your opponent's turn. If you go second, put a copy of Construct on the field, and send a Archbrave Dragon to the graveyard, and a copy of your Shaddoll Falco to the graveyard, and if you have Trade-In in your hand, you can trade in away your Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand, or send it to the graveyard with other cards, to be able to, you know, revive it back with your copy of your Archbrave. And if you put something on the field like Construct, your opponent's going to be hard-pressed to deal with it sometimes, or use a lot of resources to deal with it. And then whatever Construct can't deal with, your Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand's going to clean it up. So that's why I play the Shaddoll engine in here, because it just adds that extra oomph that this deck needs. Then I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's really good in here because you just need the extra hand traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys, or not the main deck, but that's it for the spell, or monsters. I'm going to get it right one day. But if that's it for the monsters, let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good in here because you just don't want to deal with hand traps at all, so you play that. 1 copy of Monster Reborn to bring back your, Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand to trigger his effect. Card Destruction, because you don't care if your dragons are in the graveyard, because you're going to revive them anyways. Basically, this deck revolves around reviving your dragons from the graveyard to trigger their effects. Foolish Burial to get a Archbrave Dragon to the graveyard, or a Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand to the grave, so you can start getting your combos out there. 3 copies of Trade-In, because you want to send your level 8s to the graveyard, so you can draw more cards. 3 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords. This card is really good because basically it revives your Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand, triggering his effect, to be able to go into banish something on your opponent's side of the field, to be able to OTK your opponent, and just do all sorts of crazy shenanigans. 3 copies of Shaddoll Fusion, because it helps us get our Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand and Archbrave to graveyard, so we can get more plays off. And it's really kind of hard to get Archbrave in the graveyard, so Shaddoll Fusion really emphasizes getting it to the graveyard, because you want to go second in this deck to be able to send them to the graveyard, or send it to the graveyard with this, and then trade in Foolish Burial, Card Destruction, another card that you don't need, to go into, Archbrave and on your, or go into your copy of Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand on your opponent's turn and banish something. So it kind of gets rid of their cards that they don't, that you want to get rid of. And then 3 copies of Dragon Shrine as well, because you want to send Archbrave and Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand to the grave so you can start getting your plays off. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. The extra deck is kind of interesting. You're going to look at this after we, get done with the video, and you're going to be like, whoa, wait, what's going on here? So 1 copy of Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand, because it is a Felgrand deck. You got to play the Ghoster if you got it. If you don't, just play the Secret or the Ulti, which I have both of those too. So, I mean, you just play what you want. Number 97. 97 is really good in this deck because you can actually make a copy of number 107 and a copy of number C107 to be able to go into your plays and be able to OTK your opponent with the Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, which is really easy to go into after you banish your opponent's cards and OTK your opponent with this card. It's super good. 1 copy of Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon to be able to pop stuff. Cypher Dragon, because you can make Cypher Dragon you can make this, take an opponent's monster, and then make Full Armor Photon, and then pop something and then attack them with 4,000 if you need to. 1 copy of Hope Harboring, because Hope Harboring is a spell negation, essentially, so it's a really good spell negation. 1 copy of Heretic Dragon, Overlord of Heliopolis. That's when we get the mat out. And plus, this card's really good because you can just you can tribute your dragons that are in your hand to the grave, and then pop stuff your opponent's side of the field to be able to get your dragons in the grave so you can trigger their effects and get all sorts of pops on your opponent's side of the field so that you just get rid of all the resources. So this card's really good. 1 copy of Boral Sword. Boral Sword helps us OTK a little bit. Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. You don't have to play this. If it's, it's a really expensive card, I'm not going to lie. But you don't have to play it. It helps because everything you're playing is a level 8. But you don't go into it so much that it's necessary. It's a boost, but you don't have to play it. You could drop this out and play like a 2nd copy of the Heretic Dragon or Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres if you want to go that route, just to have extra negation on the field. So you don't have to play this, but it's there if you want to. Galaxy Eye Satellite Dragon, or Galaxy Satellite Dragon. This card's really good to put on the field and then put this on the field, or helps put these on the field at really high attack points. Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, because it's good for spinning stuff. 2 Constructs, because Construct's easy to go into in this deck. Really easy. Like, I play it at 2 because it's so easy to go into. I've gone into 2 in a game, or I used to play it at 1 when I first started playing around with this deck. And I was like, man, I can go into 2, so I put it as a 2 of. And then 1 Winda, because Winda is kind of like a little harder to go into because we don't have as many darks. So it's there, but you don't make Winda as much. You usually make Construct. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's kind of a weird deck because Felgrand doesn't have any kind of direct, really good support. So it's kind of one of those pick Felgrand up and then put support around Felgrand. Or put dragon support around Felgrand and stuff to send him to grave. So it works, and it's really interesting, and it's super fun to play around with, and it takes people off guard because they don't know how to play around it. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a super fun deck to try. I highly recommend it. It's pretty budget for the main deck. The extra deck, kinda, except for the Blackluster Soldier, which I said you could drop for something else if you wanted to. So definitely give it a shot. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad. Definitely tell me what you think of this Felgrand deck profile, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.